Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the 18th edition of Random Ramblings with Randomonium. I am your host, Randomonium, and today is September 18th, 2015. And today is my birthday. I just turned 30 years old. That's 30 years old. So a huge milestone for me. And it definitely got me really kind of thinking and reflecting on my life, because not only did I turn 30, but I also was married recently, so a lot of major life changes. And I really kind of thought about, where I came from and where I've been and where I'm going. And it definitely made me feel very blessed, because I definitely have worked very hard in my life, but I definitely have also had a lot of great positive influences in my life as well. But today I'm actually going to talk about hard work. And I'm going to kind of share my reflections on my life and a couple of my friends' lives in regards to hard work. But before I ramble too much, I want to get some game commentary going. So in this game, we're going to have Pantheon as our top laner. Skarno will be in the jungle. Yasuo will be our mid laner. I'm going to be playing Vayne as AD carry. This is the first game that I've cast where I'm playing AD carry. And Morgana will be our support. And we're going to be going up against an Udyr in the top lane. Hecarim will be their jungler. Echo will be their mid laner. Tristana will be their ADC. And Alistar will be their support. So I'm sure you guys have noticed that there's something different about this video compared to other videos, and that is that there is no mini-map down here. The reason for that is that this was a game that I played on 5.17, and the replay worked fine, so I was doing my notes and everything for this video, and then 5.18 came out, and when I booted up the replay once 5.18 came out, the mini-map just disappeared. So definitely something changed between 5.17 and 5.18 that caused this mini-map to disappear in my replays, and that's going to make things very difficult on me. I'm going to have to try and rely on hotkeys and directed camera to do my best to stay on top of the action. But I'm going to pause real second because we're focusing on Hecarim right now, because he started off Gromp. And then he went to their red buff. And that's kind of just very weird jungle pathing. On top of that, him and Udyr at the very beginning of this game came over here and got the Spire on our red side buff. So they made it look like they were doing an invade into our red when Skarner was on our blue side. So Skarner thinks that his red is gone at this point. So you can see here that Hecarim is taking red, and Skarner's going to actually go for invade. He's like, alright, well, if Hecarim took my red, I'm going to take his red. So you can see here that Skarner and Hecarim run into each other. So at this point, Skarner's got the huge advantage, I think, right here. He's definitely got a better level 2, and all he has to do is land his stun, and it's going to be a first blood pretty easily. But you can see here, he misses with his fracture. So he misses with the fracture, so he's not able to get the stun. And with the slow that Hecarim gets from the red buff, Skarner's not able to chase. And then there's a rotation that's coming up here by Alistar that's going to force Skarner to actually have to flash to get out. However, we notice that Alistar has rotated mid, and now that's going to allow Morgana to go aggressive with Tristana. So you can see Morgana starts becoming really aggressive with Tristana, starts pushing out really hard, and I try to get as much damage down as I can, but I'm not able to proc the passive. If I was able to proc that passive, I don't think I would have gotten the kill off of that, but I would have been really dang close, like one auto attack away. You can see Alistar comes in, lands the Pulverize. We get the exhaust onto Tristana, and then you get the response exhaust onto me. And then Tristana heals to look like she can go aggressive. So she's going to go aggressive while the exhaust is still on me. However, I still have heal as well, and I'm able to pick up the kill. Alistar probably would have killed me if he landed that auto, wound up with 50 health. but I'm able to flash away and avoid getting killed. So that definitely was proper use of summoner spells, and a really great job by Morgana to notice that Alistar is roaming and that we can go in on Tristana. But meanwhile, while that was going on, we had a fight in top lane. So I'm going to back that up real fast. So this matchup between Pantheon and Udyr is kind of interesting because Pantheon definitely has the better poke and he's got the better burst, but Udyr has the better sustained DPS. Once Pantheon unleashes his combo, that's all Pantheon's got. So Pantheon needs to work on trying to focus down Udyr, get them in that low health range like they were just there, and then he can go in for the kill. If he tries to engage Udyr when Udyr's full health, he's just going to get completely destroyed because there's just better DPS, sustained DPS on the side of Udyr. But so right here, Pantheon, he gets the kill, right? He gets the first blood gold, but he's kind of, just kind of slowly, methodically pushing out this lane. He doesn't really have that much urgency, and this is going to put him at a disadvantage because now Udyr can teleport back into lane with an item advantage, this cloth armor here. And even though Pantheon got the first blood gold, he's not making use of it at all. So now, even though he worked so hard for that kill, it's not doing anything for him, and he's just getting completely destroyed by Udyr. You can see just immediately he's in a bad position. And now if he tries to leave, if he tries to go back and shop, Udyr can push in the wave, he can lose CS, and it's just going to be kind of a bad situation overall. So that's why you want to back. Once you get a kill, you want to always back, get the lane kind of, frozen somewhere in the middle, and then just back out. You can see here, Skarner's going to come around for a gank. So, you can see here, Pantheon's very low health. Skarner is a level down onto Udyr. This is a premature stun. Pantheon should have waited until Skarner was pretty much almost in range before he went in for that stun. You can see Skarner misses his fracture, Udyr is able to turtle up, and he's able to get a ton of damage onto Pantheon, kind of forcing Pantheon out. Pantheon's got pretty much no mana at this point, so it really is kind of a 1v1, and Udyr's got the level advantage. So here Udyr's going to try and go in for the kill. Not able to get it, but he picks up level 5, and that's crucial. So now he's got a 2-level advantage over Skarner. So even though Skarner is able to land his fracture that time, Udyr's able to get the kill, just barely. So you gotta be really careful. I know I've mentioned this before, but when you're a jungler, you gotta be really, really careful going up against a solo laner in a 1v1 situation, because they've got a huge gold advantage on you, and they've got a huge level advantage on you as well. So coming down here to mid lane, we got Echo versus Yasuo. This is kind of a very interesting matchup. Really, I would say it's a skill-based matchup because Echo's got the poke, but Yasuo's got a wind wall, and then it's really dependent upon Yasuo landing his tornado, which Echo can dodge with his dash. So it really is a kind of a cool skill matchup. But in some ways it favors Yasuo because Echo, of course, is mana dependent, and Yasuo is not. So if Yasuo doesn't, or sorry, if Echo does not manage his mana very well, then Yasuo can get a huge advantage on him. You can see here the Hecarim's going to come up for a gank, and Yasuo's just very far pushed up. But you can see this parallel convergence comes in, and Yasuo dashes right through Hecarim. Fantastic play to get outside the convergence zone to avoid the stun. So really great play by Yasuo, and yeah, he's showing off level 5. But then we get this roam from Skarner coming down, and Yasuo starts to go all in pretty much on Hecarim, but unable to get the kill. So you can see here that Pantheon has come back to lane, and he's pushing the lane. So remember how we were talking about that Pantheon's got the better burst, but Udyr's got the better sustained damage over time. So this is just not a good play for Pantheon. He pushed up the lane. He didn't need to. He could have just been last hitting, but he was using his abilities. And now you've got an Udyr with a red buff who's just on you. And there's absolutely no way the Pantheon can escape this. So this is just a classic mistake of not understanding your win condition in the lane. And Pantheon can't be pushed up that far and still survive. But moving back down to the bot lane, we had a interesting kill here. Alright, so let's talk about supports. Supports are so important. Like, everybody likes to talk about the AD carry, but the support is really the carry a lot of times, especially in the early game. The support really dictates what type of lane you're in and how aggressive you can be. So I've got Morgana as my support, and she's a fantastic support, but she's got no mana. And Morgana without mana is pretty much useless. So when I go to get this ward down, which I know Alistar is somewhere in that bush, he just comes in very easily and is able to get his headbutt pulverized, and there's not much I can do about it. So I wind up going down, and that's really a mana issue. So you gotta be really careful about when your supports are low on mana. You can't go anywhere near these bushes because it's just so easy for them to all in you. You see here, Yasuo's already pushing out Echo a little bit. He's already got a pretty commanding CS lead. And Echo's just low mana, but Yasuo's not giving him any time to rest. So Yasuo comes in, able to get the knock up and get his ult off, and with the ignite, able to get the kill. And then he's able to dash to safety. So really great play by Yasuo. I don't think that he needed to take one or two of those tower shots. He definitely, good play for him by getting out, but it wasn't as clean as it could have been. So moving back to top lane, we're going to talk about a successful gank this time. So Udyr is pushing the tower as hard as he can, and then Pantheon comes in with his Grand Skyfall right as Skarner comes in. So this is a great time, right? The Skyfall is going to land right as Skarner arrives. Awesome job. So the Grand Skyfall kills all the minions, so Udyr takes turret aggro. Pantheon lands his stun, and the Skarner comes in and lands his Fracture. Unfortunately, you gotta land an auto attack in order to get the Fracture to proc the passive, and Skarner doesn't do that. He goes immediately into his Q, which gives Udyr enough time to get out of turret range. So minor mistake there, he doesn't proc the stun until here when he's out of turret range. If he had procced the stun when Udyr was in turret range, he would have already been dead by now. So you gotta make sure that when you're playing Skarner, you weave your auto attacks between your abilities. You're not just spamming your abilities. It's ability, auto attack, ability, auto attack. And that will maximize your damage, especially once you get Triforce. Alright, so you can see here, I come back in the lane. Tristana was able to get a ton of damage on that tower just from that one kill. She was very, very strong at taking towers. And Morgana's still got no mana, so she's going to be forced back. So this kind of leaves me in a bad position because the wave is kind of neutral, and I'm in a 1v2. So I really can't go anywhere near any of these CS. It's painful for me to watch all these CS die, and there's not much that I can do to get them. But it's far better to just let those CS die than to come forward and try and get a CS and end up wind up getting killed myself with an all-in. So, going for that CS, it's never worth it. It's never worth risking a kill. You've already made a mistake because we didn't, I died first of all, and then also Morgana was low mana. So we're already in this. We already made mistakes. You don't want to compound your mistakes by giving them another kill on top of that. So you just got to eat it. Understand that you made a mistake and move on with your life, and just make sure that they don't snowball the lane. That's the most important thing. So I know I've discussed CSing under tower before, but I think it's such an important topic that it bears mentioning again. So a tower shot usually does about 44% of a melee minion's health, and roughly about 68% of a caster minion's health with a single shot. How much your auto attacks do is highly dependent upon your champion, your runes, your masteries, and items, but it's usually like 10 to 20% of the minion's health. What this means is it typically takes 2 tower shots and 1 auto attack to kill a melee minion, and 1 tower shot and 2 auto attacks to kill a caster minion. This allows you to get into a very kind of easy auto attack patterns with the tower, such as tower shot, auto attack for melee minions, or auto attack, tower shot, auto attack for caster minions. Where things get difficult is the towers have a base attack speed of 0.83, while most champions only have a base attack speed of between 0.6 and 0.7. So that makes it difficult to try and get auto attacks weaving in between tower shots. To make things more difficult, you also frequently have your own minions attacking their minions as well, causing melee minions to die in just 2 tower shots, or caster minions to die to a single tower shot. The important thing when CSing under a tower is not to have any wasted auto attacks. What I mean by that is you should never want an auto attack to attack a minion and then have the tower kill the minion immediately after that. That means that if you see a melee minion with less than half health, or a caster minion with less than 2/3 health, do not attack them if they draw turret aggro, unless you have enough AD or AP to kill the minion outright with a single auto attack or ability. This is all great with all the math and everything like that, but it's very hard to actually do it in, reality in the game. You have to go into custom games and practice. That's the only way that you're going to get better. So I highly recommend you guys go into practice games, custom games, practice CSing under towers. Let the bot push the tower and then CS under a tower. But anyway, we got this engage here that I want to back up to. So, like I was saying before, the supports are so important. The supports are what determine engages before the AD carry can scale up. You can see here, Morgana is able to land her binding on a Tristana, and it's go time. As soon as you get a binding onto the AD carry, you gotta all in them. You're not gonna get that many chances. So I pop my ultimate immediately. Morgana pops her ult, and then even though Tristana uses her flash and her jump, still not able to escape. Then we're able to pick up a ton of damage onto Alistar. Unfortunately, not able to get the condemn, but we get a lot of damage onto him. So that whole that kill was Morgana. Like, yes, I got kill credit, but Morgana was one who enabled that kill. So make sure you always give props to your support for getting the kill, because they deserve it. They really do help you. But at the same time that we got our kill on Tristana, Yasuo also got a pretty good engage. So Yasuo does a great job. He sees the parallel convergence. He's able to avoid the stun, even though Echo dashes forward. And then he trades very well. So he's able to get the dash through, get the knock up. And here, watch this. So Echo's looking to land his ultimate. So you gotta watch Echo's shadow here. Instead of going in a straight line where he would have intersected with Yasuo's shadow and Yasuo could have gotten his ultimate off, he dashes to a nearby minion away from from Echo's shadow, and then is able to come in and get the kill. So that's a fantastic job by Yasuo to keep track of Echo's shadow, so he can't use his ultimate to wind up turning the fight in his favor and getting the kill. You see low health pushing up, and this is just prime ganking material for Hecarim. So he comes in, he's going to come in with his charge, and it looks like Yasuo is completely dead. But he does this fantastic flash. He waits until the charge animation comes through, the leaping animation, and then he flashes it. So even though he'd still get stunned, Hecarim is in no position to actually deal any damage. And even though Hecarim comes in with his ultimate, Hecarim makes kind of a key mistake here where he ultimates and he lands on the left side of Yasuo instead of the right side of Yasuo. So he actually fears Yasuo towards his tower rather than fearing him away from the tower. If Hecarim had landed that fear on that side, he would have gotten the kill. But because he feared to the wrong side, that gives Yasuo the ability to run. And you can see here that Hecarim's taking tons of turret damage this entire time. And even though he does wind up getting the kill, Skarner comes in and is able to clean up. Now, that ultimate that he fired off right there, completely unnecessary by Skarner. He would have gotten the kill anyway. So Skarner kind of wastes his ultimate for no reason to secure that kill. But he does it. He is able to trade the kill back, and that's what's important. So we're kind of in a little bit of a lull, pushing the lane. Tristana's returned back to lane, and we're kind of in just kind of a reset period. Yeah, you can see just about everybody's in base now. Alright, so everybody's coming back to the lane. This kind of, it's been a pretty good matchup for us so far. I like this matchup in the bot lane between this Vayne Morgana versus Trist Alistar because both Vayne and Tristana have really great kill pressure. So either one can deal a ton of damage, especially in the late game. They're both very good scaling carries. So it really becomes more of a skill matchup. And not just skill matchup with the AD carriers, skill matchup also with the support. If Alistar can land his headbutt pulverize combo, or Morgana can land her binding, the fight can go either way. And you can see like right here, Morgana moves up to try and clear out this ward, and she gets ult in by Alistar and Tristana. Hecarim is also nearby, but he's just not far. He's not close enough to assist. So Morgana's coming through. She pops her ultimate, and then I use my condemn to try and get Alistar away because I don't want him to use his pulverize and knock Morgana up. You can see, yeah, he tries to use his pulverize, not able to get it. Morgana has to burn her flash. I have to use my tumble to try and get away from Hecarim, but we're able to escape. If Hecarim had used his ultimate right here, it would have been at least one kill. But he delays too much, doesn't use his ultimate, and that's a huge missed opportunity for their team. Because if they were able to charge in, get the ultimate down, get the fear on us, Tristana would have been able to mop up, and they would have been able to take this tower incredibly easy. So definitely a missed opportunity for the blue team. But I'm not complaining too much about that. Move to the mid lane. Yasuo's got a commanding lead in this mid lane. 2-1-1. Also got over 30 CS. So he's going to start looking to roam, right? He pushes in the lane. He moves to roam. He gets spotted up by these wards pretty easily. And Hecarim and Echo are going to come in and try and 1v2 him. But Yasuo does a fantastic job here where he dashes through Echo to avoid the stun. And that's crucial. If that stun had gone off, Yasuo would have been pretty much dead. Thankfully, Skarner's rotating down, and he's able to assist. But you can see here, they both turn on to Hecarim, and Echo's just chilling back here, not really doing anything, not really helping that much. So it's essentially a 1v2 for our team right now, when it should be a 2v2. So they landed knock-up, and Yasuo goes into his ultimate. Skarner uses his ultimate like right after, so definitely not ideal. Skarner should have waited for the CC from Yasuo's ult to wear off before he used his ult. But it's still effective, and it's enough for them to get the kill. Echo here, he uses his ult at this point when he should have been engaging this entire time. And then, if they tried to focus on Echo, he could have used his ult to basically heal up the damage and deal a lot of damage there instead. But Echo kind of leaves his teammate out to dry, and yeah, Hecarim winds up paying the price for that. So we continue to push, get the stun onto Alistar, getting a lot of damage down. Alistar is forced to pop his ultimate, but we're not able to convert that into any kills. So I think my team is coming around to assist me with Tristana. I'm not paying attention as much as I should to the minimap. And nope, they're nowhere near me. Skarner's up here, Morgana's up there helping. Yasuo's trying to solo out Alistar, so I'm 1v1 with Tristana, and I've got way less health than her. So that winds up being a poor decision on my part. But I'm able to escape, and we're able to secure this dragon pretty easily without too much difficulty. So it's really important that, I mean, that whole encounter happened because they caught Yasuo out, and then they tried to collapse on him, and then they kind of abandoned each other, and that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do. They had a 2v1 in their favor, then it turned into a 2v2. Instead of taking the 2v2, they decided to make it a 1v2 where we were able to get another kill. Great play by Yasuo getting his ultimate off. Echo is able to get the dash off, and then parallel convergence not able to land. So you see there, yep. Echo throws out a Sidewinder. Yasuo does a wind wall, and even though Hecarim's coming to gank, not able to get anything off. Alright. Moving down to bot lane. This has been a pretty even fight so far. I got the extra kill, but Tristana is beating me in CS. Her and Alistar are definitely zoning me a lot better, and Morgana is just so mana heavy that I'm having a lot of difficulty doing anything but CSing under tower. So I see that Skarner's up here. He's coming over. He's going to try and assist me with this gank here. So I'm ready to go all in. So as soon as I proc this second auto, I tumble in an ultimate to get the passive off. Tristana rocket jumps away, but with my bonus movement speed combined with heal, there's absolutely nothing she can do. And I actually kill her before Skarner even gets there. And that just kind of shows how powerful Vayne is as a duelist. She's very vulnerable to CC, like with the Alistar, but if she's one-on-one against somebody, she can deal a ton of damage. But I'm gonna back up real fast because we have this fight here. So Yasuo's continuing to bully around Echo. But he's just so far pushed up, and he doesn't have any ward coverage whatsoever. You can see here, gets ambushed by Hecarim, gets the stun off. This parallel convergence, if it had been positioned a little bit closer, would have wound up stunning Yasuo, and he would have been dead before anything happens. But Hecarim blows his ultimate, able to get the fear off. I don't know why Echo sidewindered out at that point. There's no reason for him to use the ultimate right then. But yeah, even though Yasuo burned his flash, able to get the kill. However, great play by Pantheon to come in, land the stun, land his full combo, and get the kill. So we trade back 1-for-1, definitely worth. And then with Skarner rotating here to mid, we're able to pick up another kill. So great job by both Pantheon and Skarner to rotate to turn a losing fight into a winning one. So now they're going to come up here because Udyr is pushing top lane, and it's going to wind up being a 2v1 in top lane as well. See, Udyr tries to run, we land the Fracture, which is key. Pantheon lands his stun, then Skarner, as soon as that stun wears off, he lands his stun, able to get a ton of damage on. So, no reason for Skarner to sit around when Udyr is trying to focus him. As long as Skarner runs away a little bit sooner, he survives this, no problem. But he sticks around a little bit too long, winds up dying in a 1v1, rather than it should have been a 1-for-0 trade, unfortunately. This does give Pantheon a chance to kind of push out the lane and at least draw out the teleport from Udyr, so that if we want to try and force a dragon fight, we can. Let's come back down to bot lane. Yet again, CSing under tower, not much I can do besides that. And you can see, you know, in theory, it's easy, but it's not. So we're trying to control the spires. Take control of it. And then we're going to try and set an ambush here in this river bush. See if we can get some damage down. So Alistar comes in. I'm worried about him doing his head pulverize, so I kind of tumbled defensively when I should have tumbled offensively. But we're able to get... I'm able to proc that third passive onto Alistar, which kind of chunks him down to about half health. But he lands a fantastic two-man headbutt pulverize. And then on top of that, with Tristana using her explosive charge, it's going to deal a ton of damage to us. But we land the Exalt, I pop my ultimate. Morgana spell shields me, which saves my life very much. And I'm able to pick up the kill with Tristana. And then with Alistar solo health, Skarner is able to come in and his ultimate. I don't really like the way that he moves Alistar. He kind of moves him down like this. I would have preferred to see him move Alistar kind of up the lane towards our tower. But we're still able to get the kill. But I have to wind up burning my flash to get it. But yeah, double kill. Can't complain about that. Just little tiny things you can do to just improve your play just a little bit more. Alright, so we had another battle in mid lane. As you can see here, Echo dashes in. Sets up his parallel convergence, but it's not really in a spot. He's trying to bait it out, but Yasuo kind of wisely backs off. And then he's able to dash in, land the knockup with the ult. Easy kill with him being so far ahead now, over 50 CS, 4 kills, and 2 assists, so he's got a pretty commanding gold lead. Pantheon jumps on to Udyr whenever Udyr gets in tower range. Very smart play. You see, Udyr's going to back off, and he's going to back. You can see here now, Pantheon, he's just really quickly pushing out the lane, which isn't very good for him, especially against a full health Udyr when he has very little ward coverage. No reason to really kind of push up this hard, unless he thinks that, unless he's got vision on Udyr and knows that Udyr is roaming. This is just kind of setting Pantheon up for to be killed, either solo killed or with a gank, because he doesn't have any vision this entire way up. No vision to try and stop a gank. You see here, Udyr comes in, has the speed advantage. Pantheon uses his stun to try and get away. And that was the only form of CC that he's got, and Aegis has got a pretty long cooldown. So at this point, there's nothing Pantheon can really do to escape. So this is why you got to make sure that you don't push up far enough, because Pantheon he can't can't 1v1 meter in any type of situation. But another major fight going on around the jungle pit. So we're trying to control dragon. We've already got Scuttle Crab. We're trying to get the Spire. We want to get this another dragon. But this is kind of, bad situation, right? Because Pantheon's not going to be able to help us. I'm still trying to rotate, and Yasuo's in base. So there's no reason to rush this engage. Just play defensive, back off. They can't get the Scuttle Crab. They're not going to be able to get the Shard. So there's no reason to try and engage on Tristana, because we're not in a favorable fight yet. It's an even fight, but we don't want to take even fights. We want to take favorable fights. Skarner kind of uses his ultimate, but doesn't really do anything with it. Like, it would have been much better if Skarner used his ultimate and then like dragged Tristana towards me or something like that. Or dragged her towards Morgana or anything. Don't just stand there and blow your ultimate for no reason, not doing any damage. So he does a good job trying to get the stun on, but then Hecarim comes in. I'm able to get the kill. But this is just a sloppy team fight overall. Like, there's no reason why we should be having this team fight, especially when we started the team fight and our two main damage dealers, the two people who have all of gold on the team, right? Me and Yasuo, weren't even there, right? You gotta wait for your damage dealers before you're gonna engage on a fight. So this kind of draws me in. I'm in this kind of sloppy team fight, definitely not playing very well, and they all pretty much focus me. So I'm doing my best to try and kite back, but not a very good situation whatsoever. And I'm not able to get any additional kills. So I get the one kill onto Tristana, but definitely not worth. Definitely could have been a much better fight on my part. But then Yasuo comes in, and you can see how just easily he just cleans up. And if Yasuo had been there, and I had been there when the fight had started, we would have absolutely dominated them. And pretty much nobody would have died. It would have been pretty much a game-ending fight right there. But instead, kind of a sloppy fight. We still wind up getting 4 kills for there too, but it could have been so much better. Like that fight could have that would have been a surrender fight right there if we had the entire team present when it happened. So at this point in the game, huge commanding lead, right? 19 kills to 9 kills. Yasuo's got a dominant CS lead. I'm still a little bit behind Tristana, but I'm not too worried about it. But it's pretty obvious that we're going to do quite well in this game. So I'm going to put this on directed camera because I don't have the minimap, so I can't keep track of all the action that's going on via minimap. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the reflections that I've had on life recently, and kind of thinking about where I've been, where I'm going, and what I've accomplished in life. And the title of this video is Investing in Yourself. And what I mean by that is you need to put in the time and effort to make yourself a better person each and every day. As I've gotten older, I've realized that success is not something that happens overnight. Rather, success occurs after years of pushing yourself in everything you do. I look at my peers today, and the most successful people that I know are the ones who never stopped pushing themselves when they were kids and continued to push themselves when they became adults. I'm talking years of hard work, years of forging themselves from a lump of metal into a weapon. But the big point is that success does not happen overnight. The problem is that hard work alone does not guarantee success, nor does it guarantee a payoff in a certain period of time. You must work hard because you know it's the right thing to do, because you want to better yourself, not because you're looking for some reward. And the frustrating thing is that success is fleeting if it's not properly tended. For example, I had a friend when I was a kid, his name was Chris. Chris was a top tennis player in Northern California and one of the best in the country. On top of this, Chris was an excellent student and he was really popular with the ladies. Upon graduating high school, he received a full-ride scholarship to Stanford. Everyone thought that he was going to be one of the most successful people in our peer group. But several injuries put Chris on the sideline in college, and during his recovery, he began to lose his way. His popularity turned to partying, and he found that he needed his narcotic pain pills more and more, even though his injuries were healing. Over several years, Chris developed an addiction to narcotics. He stopped caring about his goals and all the hard work he'd put in. All that mattered to him were the parties and the drugs. Chris dropped out of Stanford before he completed his degree. Last I heard, he's now homeless in San Francisco. All that hard work was wasted. And for what? A good time? I wonder how good of a time he is having now, sleeping under overpasses and dumpster diving for food. And while success takes years of work, it doesn't mean that someone who has lost their way can't become successful. When I was a kid, I had another friend named Jeff. Jeff was incredibly intelligent, but continually underachieved and got himself into trouble. He went to a party school for college where he earned the nickname the Pharmacy. I think you can figure out why he was called that. Towards the end of college, though, he had a wake-up call, and he began to invest in himself. It certainly wasn't easy for him. He bounced around the country in a variety of professions and did a lot of soul searching. It took 8 years of hard work, but now he has a great job in the financial sector and is on pace to become very successful in the next 5 to 10 years. The point is that hard work is an investment in yourself. If you want to be successful, sooner or later you're going to need to put in. And the sooner and more consistent you put in that work, the easier your success will come and the more rewarding that success will be. However, just like any investment, one bad decision can destroy all that you've worked for. Since I was a kid, I've always strived to make myself better. Each day I wake up with a goal to be stronger, faster, smarter than I was the day before. And you know what? It's paid off. I received a full-ride scholarship to college where I pushed myself and received a double degree in engineering and liberal arts. I bought my dream car, a Porsche Carrera, when I was 24 years old. I received my first master's degree in engineering when I was 25 years old. And when I was 26 years old, I bought a $430,000 house. I received multiple commendations for the work I've done, and I have a deep network of professionals who give me glowing job recommendations. And most recently, I've started my second master's degree, which I should finish by the end of next year. Don't say all this stuff to brag. I say it to show you that hard work pays off. Yes, it's hard, but it's worth it. If it was easy, then everyone would do it. Always be proud of who you are, but never be satisfied with what you've accomplished. There's always another mountain to climb, another challenge to overcome, another fear to conquer. Be honest with yourself and you'll never have any regrets. You'll never wonder what would have happened if you pushed yourself harder or worked a little longer. Invest in yourself, because if you don't think you're worth it, nobody will. I hope you guys all take that to heart, because that truly is how I feel, and it's truly worked for me in life, and it's worked wonders for me. I'm so happy and so successful now at this point in my life, and I wouldn't change anything in my past. I've made plenty of mistakes, but I wouldn't change anything for the world. So that's the end of this game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And this is Randomonium, signing off.